Welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news show. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. June 1st. Wow. And we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson. Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of LGBTQ experience. We bring you the best LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat? Yeah, don't adjust your screens. I am not Al Ferguson in red. Can you imagine Al dressed like this?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it takes me back to Halloween when he dressed like me for Halloween, and it was very scary. If you want to look back at those pictures,
Don't do it.
don't do it in front of children, all right? All right, let's kick off today by welcoming anchor Jonathan Casanas. He's a board member of FayWhat Miami, an organization working to unite South Florida's diverse communities to advance progress. Progress through civic engagement, cultural programming, and education. He's also co-host of the Miami Community News FayWhat Miami show, airing Fridays at 4 p.m. Good evening, John. How are you?
Hey, little mama, why you dressed so funky? Next, let's welcome my favorite anchor, John Hayden. John's been a journalist for 27 years and now works for several South Florida outlets, including SFGN as community editor, covering politics, arts, and philanthropic organizations. Much of his career was spent as a celebrity journalist, covering the stupidity and scandals of Hollywood. John's interviewed nearly every big name except me in TV, movies, and music, and once spent an evening watching a movie with Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II.
No way.
God save the Queen. Welcome, John.
Good evening, everyone, and hello to Her Majesty. It's a we're starting a 4-day bank holiday over in Britain to celebrate.
Yeah, so they really have 4 days off over there, just celebrating her birthday. Like everybody just sits around and has tea and crumpets.
Yep.
I mean, that's what we do here for me, am I right?
That's a whole month for you, John.
It is. And last night we had a great time at the I Am What I Am opening.
We really did.
Which was so fun. We did the shows there last night. It was you, me, Saborni,
Yes.
and
Saborni Weaver.
Shay, and then who was the fifth?
Greg.
Me.
Oh, yeah, it was Gregg Shapiro.
Wow.
And we're going to get to him in a second, but first, let's welcome anchor Peter Bisuito. He's an internationally known comedian, writer, producer, director, and actor. Selling out shows in 5 countries, including his 2 sold-out shows at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts here in Fort Lauderdale. Now, 2 years ago, he created and wrote a pilot episode for a new sitcom called Vent and Chester, which went on to win awards at film festivals. I know, imagine how it feels reading it. Unfortunately, the pandemic shut the project down, so Peter decided to rewrite the script into a 2-act play that is now up for several prestigious Carbonell Awards. During the pandemic, Peter created a YouTube web series called Ask a Naked Guy Crocheting that he now performs live every Tuesday night at Lit Bar in Wilton Manors.
I've seen it. He's naked.
Yeah.
Really naked.
Which means you've seen it.
Like literally
Seen it. And
Yeah.
all of the bits as well.
All the little bits.
Peter now uses the show not only to entertain, but to raise money for rescuing dogs from slaughterhouses and hopes to end the Yulin Meat Dog Festival. Horrible.
Yulin Dog Meat
In
Festival.
China.
Yes.
Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, John, very much. I'm glad to see you dressed for the occasion tonight.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, did you see what you wore last time?
I did. If you folks don't remember, so last Wednesday, John decided to wear like, I don't know, a shirt from when he was in middle school. And, we're all very well aware that John Hayden was bullied in middle school. So he probably was dragged around the lunchroom by the neck of said shirt. And he decided to wear it on national television last Wednesday for your viewing love.
I felt so sorry for it. I threw change at him.
And it fell right through the shirt.
Moving on. Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro, art inductee into the I'm not reading, really.
No,
not.
not at all.
An art inductee into the Chicago LGBTQ Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 8 books, including his latest, Fear of Muses, an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and music reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ+ and mainstream publications and websites. His movie review column called Screensaver can be found in South Florida Gay News, San Francisco's Bay Area Reporter, RottenTomatoes.com, and more. Well, your intro's longer than mine, for God's sakes. Good evening, Gregg.
Good evening. Happy National Say Something Nice Day. And if you want to do something nice, you can go down to History Miami Museum in downtown Miami and see the wonderful 400 plus years of love exhibit that's the Legacy Couples. It's quite wonderful, and I'm honored to say that my husband Rick and I are one of the couples in the exhibit. For more information, visit historymiami.org.
So tell us about the Legacy Couples, though. You need to be married 143 years? In gay years, that's 20. Did the math right?
10 or more.
10 or more. Okay, and that's going to be there for a while, then we can go
We'll
to
be
the
there
exhibit.
into September, for sure.
And who did the photography?
Our very own Dale Stein did the
Oh.
photography. Beautiful pictures.
He made every one of you look 10 years younger.
At least.
Incredible.
That was some
Wow.
camera.
She's a photographer, not a magician.
Well, apparently he's an editor as well.
He doesn't use Photoshop, he uses magic wand.
We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ+ community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the Queer News for today, Wednesday, June 1st, the day before my birthday.
Oh my God, I didn't know. Yesterday was your birthday. How old are you, 150?
No, the day
I've
before.
never
Day before.
So
Bought you a
old. That's
present.
so cool.
See it tomorrow.
Why don't you give him my hair clip?
It's a gift. My mother always told me never
a
to forget.
crochet. Give him
chin.
something crochet.
I don't
or something.
have it with me.
Happy birthday,
it's wrapped around
Greg.
his penis.
Listen, we are blessed that you made it another year. Thank you.
Wow,
Well,
thank
don't
you.
sound surprised.
Oh, wait a minute. Why was that mean? I'm really happy. Give me another.
It's National Say Something Nice Day.
What do you want her to say? Was she dead? I mean, come on.
Darn, you made it another year? Like, what
She
am I
sounded like she was surprised.
I know.
Like, well, I'm so glad you
Not
actually
as
made it
surprised as
another
I
year
am.
Oh my
without
God, happy birthday.
keeling over.
Stop it, boys. I love you. Happy birthday.
Happy
Okay,
birthday.
I'm going to send you a big picture of me.
Thank you very much.
All right. Why is that horrible?
You are trying to kill him,
There's
aren't
a big
you?
picture. That's
Not going to make it till next year. That's
All right, let's start this show. My God, Al Ferguson's going to kill me. All right, let's start off by queering up the USA view. Biden Pride Month proclamation condemns GOP unconscionable attacks from anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. Whew. President Biden has fought since first days of his presidency for the LGBTQ+ community, and in his State of the Union address, he told the community, especially the younger transgender members, that he had our backs. Yesterday, he issued a proclamation for Pride Month, reiterating his support. In the address, he states, quote, members of the LGBTQI+ community, especially people of color and trans people, continue to face discrimination and cruel, persistent efforts to undermine their human rights. An onslaught of dangerous anti-LGBTQI+ legislation has been introduced and passed in states across the country, targeting transgender children and their parents and interfering with their access to health care. These unconscionable attacks have left countless LGBTQI+ families in fear and pain. All of this compounded has been especially difficult on LGBTQI+ youth, 45% of whom seriously considered attempting suicide in the last year. A devastating reality that our nation must work urgently to address. This month, we remind the LGBTQI+ community that they are loved and cherished. My administration sees you for who you are, deserving of dignity, respect, and support, end quote.
Bravo, Mr. President. Finally. Remember when Donald Trump was running for president?
God, I'm still trying to get that out of
oh, I'm going to do everything I can to support the LGBTQ+.
He said he was
Lying
the most
liar.
supportive president in history. That is actually what he said.
He's a lying liar. He's a professional liar.
And people believed him. Like,
And people still believe him,
Yes.
Peter, you know?
I know, it's
so
sad.
what do we think about this proclamation? I mean, like
It's
when
great.
the president himself is saying They're coming for you, LGBTQIA. Get together, unify, figure out what you're going to do because, Molly, you in danger.
Yeah.
You in danger,
And
girl.
I'd just like to contrast this to where I was a year ago today,
Okay.
a year ago tonight. I was at a rally at the Pride Center because on the first day of Pride Month last year, DeSantis signed into law the anti-trans kids in sports, in school sports. So the fact that a year ago that terrible thing was happening and unfortunately still is being fought, but to contrast that against what our president is doing for us, it makes you feel good, and for a moment you can go, and then tomorrow, back to it.
That's what I was
fight
gonna say.
continues,
That's what I was
yeah.
gonna say. Back to what is it's words. I don't see
Like,
any-
does it matter? Does
Yeah,
it make
I
a difference
don't-
in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, maybe
I
I'm a
think-
pessimist, but this doesn't
Well,
do
I
much
think
for me.
the leader of the country, when he's saying publicly that he supports the LGBTQ, it's different every freaking time. When he supports the community, that other people will follow suit, because a lot of people really do look up to the leader of the country to
Yeah.
lead, and if he's leading, they may follow suit.
Yeah.
So I just think it's great that we finally have a president that's able to verbalize their support.
Yeah.
You know,
And thank you to him and his staff, who I'm sure helped him write it.
yeah.
Well, we move on and we queer up South Florida gay news because they employ me. A rift in the leather community leads to a very public fight. South Florida's leather community is large, strong, and very visible. But on the eve of IML, they found themselves dealing with a controversy that led to a former Mr. Ramrod title holder being stripped of his title, its accoutrements, and the respect that comes with the title. Scott Bloomstein, Mr. Ramrod 2017, is accused of making several posts on social media appearing to degrade the reigning Mr. Ramrod, Blade Onyx. Shortly after the post, David Howell, the producer of Mr. Ramrod, released a statement no one was expecting, stripping Bloomstein of his title and demanding the return of the sash and patch. Screenshots of the post, which I saw but could not independently verify, lay out some ugly allegations. Some of the grievances seem petty, like the current Mr. Ramrod, Blade Onyx of Onyx Deep South, holding events at Eagle. Greater Fort Lauderdale is lucky to have two thriving leather bars, and Hal says it stems from jealousy, though it's not hard to read more into the posts. Whatever motivated them, it exposes unnecessary rifts in South Florida's LGBTQ+ community, and we need as much unity amongst ourselves if we're going to defeat our common enemies in Tallahassee, Washington, and even our neighbors. And you can read more on this rift in tomorrow's South Florida Gay News online and on stands tomorrow. And a couple things that I wanted to point out was that the social media is very, very important part of the competition at IML. So the fact that these posts were out there and then it was generating, even if it was generating support for Blade, it's still a negative tinge on his candidacy, which judges for IML pay a lot of attention to in the weeks leading up to the thing. Blade did end up doing really well. He finished in the top 20, so very yay and congratulations
So
to him.
IML already happened.
IML happened over the weekend.
So let's state for our viewers that IML is the International Mr. Leather Competition.
Chicago.
in Chicago.
In Chicago, and everybody sends their representatives, and we have two incredible leather bars here. We have Eagle and Ramrod, and they both sent representatives for this,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes,
correct.
And so this gentleman, Mr. Bloomstein, was that his name,
Blumstein.
right? Blumstein, Scott. So he was Mr. Ramrod a couple of years ago, and he kept the crown longer than they usually allow somebody to because of COVID, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No. He was in 2017. Then the current one, Blade, became Mr. Ramrod in 2019, and he held on to it through COVID because he couldn't go to IML because there were no IML, things like that. So Blade has had it for an extended period of time, but he's been this last year been able to get out and be representative of the community.
So I don't understand, like, why can't we have nice things? Like, why can't we fight within our own community?
Well, one thing I really get angry about is when people get their panties in a wad when you go to a different bar.
Yeah,
You know, like,
exactly.
you know, they get so angry when you go to somebody else's bar. Just because he's Mr. Ramrod, that doesn't mean he can't go to other bars. I mean, that's just
No,
petty.
nothing
it's
at all.
negativity, it's negative energy, and it's horseshit. Because
And that's how we don't get ahead. That's why a lot of our places have to close down because of people that are like, oh, you can only go to one bar who you are loyal to. That's completely ridiculous. You know,
It's a lot to do with money. A lot of these nonprofits, as well here in South Florida alone, always battle kind of the same funding, the same people they go to, and they argue when they're all you're trying to fight for the same fight.
Yeah.
It's all about money. Once you kind of go to the next bar, now you're not getting the limelight anymore.
Yeah.
So that you're generating the money that I would have had otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, what it sounds like is someone needs to be disciplined.
Ooh, I love that.
Oh.
You know,
And he had to give up the
vlog.
sash and the patch, but who got the tiara and the scepter? I just want to know who got
I think I know who got the scepter. But you know, and I was talking with a couple of different people about, and so many of the accusations seem petty from 30,000 feet, but when you're in it, you know, they do take on extra meaning. But the fact that they hold events at Eagle, a lot of times they would end up at Ramrod. Like you're at Eagle till about 1, then you're at Ramrod till about 3. And the fact is, Eagle is laid out better for large events. They've got a bigger stage area. They're
Larger dance floor.
yeah,
the dance
Ramrod
floor
is easier
a-
for sex. We all know that. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, Ramrod is sort of sectioned off. There's the pool table area, you know, there's the main bar area, there's the backyard. But the Eagle just has a much wider dance floor and area. So a lot of things do start at Eagle and then end up at Ramrod.
But he shouldn't have to. Okay, Blade is a business owner. Okay, let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Blade is a business owner in Wilton Drive. We're supposed to support our LGBTQ plus businesses, you know, for the long haul. He's a business owner, and he also is Mr. Ramrod that did an event at Eagle that is also helping another of our businesses locally. You know, I don't see where.
What
okay,
was the event? Was it a fundraiser?
No, this is just in general.
Who cares?
Just
Who
in
cares?
general.
I mean,
Why
they're
didn't
giving him shit for just going
No, I'm
into
just
another.
curious.
No, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, you
Well,
know, it's silly.
Well, this was sparked by the send-off for IML, for Blade to send him off. But why? But that which was done at the Ramrod. So why this all flared up now is.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
all
going to
very
speculate.
confusing.
Okay.
It sounds like that time that Miss Sri Lanka got her crown ripped off her head. We're all cut from the same
my
cloth.
God, I remember that. That was actually a really good.
All
Look,
right.
a big shout out going out to Elimination Onyx. We love you and we love the whole Onyx family. I hope that you guys can figure this out, you know, and not make it a bigger thing. But if you need us, we're here.
I don't know for what, but let's queer up gay culture. New studies show LGBTQ plus community building wealth faster than others. The rich keep getting richer. And a new study shows that if you're rich and LGBTQ plus, you're probably doing better than your straight counterparts. New research shows from Merrill Lynch that affluent households, those that make at least $125,000 a year, are continuing to build wealth. The surprise in the study is that minority households are growing the fastest. Since 2015, the study shows that affluent black households have increased their wealth by 65%. Latino households have seen a massive 81% increase in wealth. LGBTQ plus households have also seen a very large increase, with their net worth increasing by 76%. Cisgender, heterosexual, and white affluent households also saw increases in wealth, but at a much lower 53% rate.
Wow. And this
now-
is Merrill Lynch, so okay.
Yeah, well,
And then, what
I
do you
feel like
think?
this case study is wrong. And I know I look rich, you know, especially sitting here next to this panel. I look pretty rich. But I'm sure
Wow.
it did
I
not
don't know what
include,
that means, but
like, there aren't enough dirty underwears in the world for me to sell that would amount to the small fortune that my friends are making on OnlyFans. I feel like
Yeah,
they
right.
did not include
true.
those numbers, and there will be a substantial difference in these rates.
well, I think they skipped my house completely on that one. Like I said, coño, I'm LGBT, I'm Latina, and nope, none of that. But it's true. I read an article the other day that like there were a lot more billionaires now since COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, so maybe these numbers aren't too far
But I
off.
think these numbers are very vague. They say, well, you know, we've seen an increase in income. How did they get richer? How did they make more money?
Yeah.
What's the
Side-
fucking
well, but
secret?
they're
You know what I
already-
mean? Like,
Yeah, like,
come on,
well.
But they're
throw me
already
a bone.
They're already making $125,000 a year. So I mean, this isn't like all gay people. This is just the ones that are already over this particular income line. And we have to remember that the LGBTQ plus population also over-indexes on poverty, on needing public assistance, and homelessness. So yes, the rich are getting richer. God bless them, and God bless OnlyFans. But most of our community is not sharing in this,
wealth.
mini boom.
It's a
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
you know, with all due respect to, you know, people on OnlyFans, it's just kind of sad to me. I'm just because you brought it up. It's sad to me that people have to resort to this to make money in the
Yeah.
first place. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Sure.
But, you know, it's that they have to resort to pornography and fucking on camera.
But it's not all pornography. There's people eating burgers on there, and people are paying to watch them eat
true.
burgers. So it's not that
It is
thing. Listen, during COVID, we had to pivot. We had to figure out ways.
Okay, so then
You know,
let me
something-
rephrase. It's really sad when people have to resort to eating hamburgers on OnlyFans.com.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I mean, at least knit something.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh my God, I have an idea.
Crochet.
Knit something naked.
Crochet.
And people will ask you questions.
Yes.
do you think
And you know,
Yes.
crochet
Hey,
naked?
yeah, 100%.
unfortunately, one of the richest among us is insidious, far-right homosexual Peter Thiel, who's currently funding the campaigns of many of our enemies. So that's one of the rich ones, just for the record.
Wah, wah.
Sorry.
Wah, right?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
gonna go
get
again.
this down.
Anyway, wow.
What an asshole. All right, clear up the USA View. New York, here's the headline. New York introduces X-gender marker on state IDs. Here's the story. On Friday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced that citizens will be able to apply for state documents, including driver's licenses, with X as the gender marker. In her announcement, she said, quote, "As we prepare to celebrate Pride Month in a few days, I am excited to announce this historic change that represents another victory in our fight to help ensure equality and respect for the LGBTQ plus community." Hey, every person, regardless of their gender, identity, or expression, deserves to have an identity document that reflects who they are. My administration remains committed to ensuring that New York is a place of value, love, and belonging for members of the LGBTQ plus community, end quote. The state's commissioner of courts posted a video as the first driver's licenses with the X marker were handed out. Watch this.
I'm going to call out your names and you'll come up and receive it and then we'll take a picture. Okay. Priya Nair. Jenna Fraser. Kyle Rapinion. Charlie Arrowwood. AC Doomlau. And Shane Fitchler.
I am so proud. My name is on their license.
This is wonderful. And now it's going to be expanded to applications for federal aid, discrimination complaints, and even the White House security for workers and visitors.
I would just like
that's fantastic.
This is no big deal
Really?
to most people. Okay. So all the people are going to be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." No, this is not a big deal for you, and it affects you in zero ways. Right. However, it is a huge deal to the people it does actually affect.
Thank you.
So if you're going to be out there clutching your pearls, and Tucker Carlson's producer has XXX marks the spot on his graphic tonight, no, shut up. This is important to a few people. Let them have their joy. Let them have their life.
Hashtag mind your own business.
Yeah.
Wait, could you imagine this coming out of Governor Death Sentence's mouth? I mean, I could just, never in a million years.
Something so simple. Something for just someone to just accurately identify themselves. That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I was one of those assholes. I didn't understand it. I was like, why is this a big deal? And I was schooled, and I now appreciate it very much, and I stand here corrected, and I'm very much proud of that.
Well, thank you for staying open in more ways than one, John.
There's a lot of...
Okay, and now we clear up trans rights. Indiana, third state to override governor's veto on anti-LGBTQ bill. In March, the Indiana legislature attempted to ban transgender girls from competing in school sports. Republican Governor Eric Holcomb vetoed the bill, saying in a statement, quote, "The presumption of the policy laid out in HEA 1041 is that there is an existing problem in K-12 sports in Indiana that requires further state government intervention. It implies that the goals of consistency and fairness in competitive female sports are not currently being met. After thorough review, I find no evidence to support either claim, even if I support the overall goal," end quote. The Republican-controlled state House overrode Holcomb's veto yesterday in a 67-28 vote. Later that day, the Republican-controlled Indiana Senate voted to override the veto, 32-14. Senate President pro tempore Roderick Bray said of the veto override, quote, "This is a policy that we feel is appropriate. We don't like to get the state of Indiana sued, but it happens from time to time, end quote.
So he's even saying, yeah, we know this is probably illegal.
Yeah.
And we don't care if they sue us. Yeah, go
It
for
happens
it.
from time to time.
Now this is, I want to point something out because I'm from Indiana, so I follow events there somewhat closely.
You like the Pacers?
Yeah, I liked him when Reggie Miller and Detlef Schrempf.
Oh, wow.
I'd debt his shrimp.
Yeah, you're,
but
okay, I was going to say, okay, Butch Queen.
on this issue, and because we just went through redistricting, and we're going to have the first election with new, like the smaller state house districts drawn. In 2010, 52 Democrats were elected to the Indiana state legislature and controlled the chamber. Today, there are 29. So over the course of a decade, after redistricting, where they even got to have a say, they've still lost all those seats.
Wow.
And this could easily be a harbinger of things to come here in Florida, and it's going to hit us for the next decade.
And don't forget that Indiana gave us John Hayden and Pete Buttigieg, but it also gave us Mary and Mother Pence. So let's think about that.
Yeah.
That's the other gift from Indiana.
Thanks, Indiana.
I'm gonna think that through.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Like herpes, yeah.
All right. Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine and supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
I'm Michael Reardon, the Director of Marketing for Compass Community Center, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Oh, I love Michael. Hi. We finished tonight's queer news headlines with what we call LGBTQ plus flash news.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Elon Musk. Elon Musk mocks tech giants for changing logos to Pride Month rainbows. Every year, businesses and social media platforms change their logos to rainbows for Pride Month. Many see this as just pandering, as frequently the companies will not change their logo for pages that operate in countries that are not LGBTQ friendly. See most of the Middle East. Elon and China. Elon Musk, the tech mogul currently attempting to purchase Twitter, tweeted a meme yesterday making fun of the practice. The meme, captioned, "June is almost here," shows a dust storm full of different company logos in rainbows, including Twitter's. Okay, do companies pander? Yes. But are they pandering to us? Yes. I remember when LGBTQ was toxic and only Absolute Vodka was considered top shelf because they catered to us. The real thing to do is watch where our money goes, who they support politically. Follow the money. But first, spend it, because it's June.
Exactly. I'm all for electric cars, but remember, just like buying a ticket for Top Gun Maverick is supporting Scientology, remember, if you buy a Tesla, you're supporting Elon Musk.
I just want to remind him that it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars he has, his penis is not going to get any bigger. He's stuck with what he's got.
That depends. I don't know. Elon Musk, why don't you buy all those companies and turn them into bottoms?
I would appreciate that. But I will say I agree with John, follow the money. I don't care if they change their logos in those countries. I care more if they're giving back to our community. So follow the money. I agree. All right. LGBTQ plus flash news. Dun-dun-dun. Good Morning America kicks off Pride Month in South Florida. Pride Month is upon us, even though here in the gayest place on the planet Earth, we celebrate it all year. Maybe that's why the national beloved show Good Morning America decided to kick off June with us here in South Florida. This morning's episode showcased our community partner Compass, the nonprofit that produces Palm Beach Pride. They also paid tribute to longtime Compass volunteer Wayne Lefkowitz. Wayne teaches photography. I'm sorry, Wayne. Wayne teaches photography at Compass and has helped community icons like Velvet Lenore see their true selves with photo shoots after they transition. Lake Worth Beach Mayor Betty Resch was even on hand to commemorate all of the work Wayne does with the community by issuing a proclamation that from now on, the first Wednesday of June will be known as Wayne's Day. Watch this.
Wayne started volunteering at the front desk about 10 years ago, and from the moment you meet him, Wayne is the most approachable, caring, loving, genuine human being. He just makes you feel good.
Every Wednesday, Wayne mans the front desk at Compass, greeting everyone who enters.
Every Wednesday when I walk in the door, Wayne is there at the front desk, and the typical greeting is Happy Wayne's Day.
I feel like he's an extension of our staff. He's family. He really makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, but also just being around him makes you a happy person.
Wayne's volunteerism goes a lot further than just being a consistent smiling face. A talented photographer, Wayne offers his services and teaching to others free of charge.
Wayne, to me, is an angel.
Velvet Smith came to Compass depressed and wanting to transition.
I met Wayne, and I told him my situation. He goes, well, if you really want to do this, I'm going to make sure you do it, but you have to help yourself.
Being yourself is what Compass aims to help people to do every day. Wayne's driving that charge on the front lines, offering to take glamour shots of Velvet right after her transition.
I still have the pictures on my wall because it reminds me of where I came from.
Showing Velvet who she really was for the very first time.
It showed me that everything don't have to be a struggle.
Mayor Betty Resch of Lake Worth Beach. Tell me a little bit about this proclamation.
This proclamation, Lake Worth Beach is a fabulous, diverse city, and our people are what make it so special. And Wayne, you are one of the people that makes it extra special. So the city of Lake Worth has made it official. Every first Wednesday of June, forever, in Lake Worth Beach shall be known as Wayne's Day!
I love that.
Awesome.
Wayne is special. Compass is special. Wayne's Day is going to be very special. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but this was very nice to see.
Yeah, I would have gone with Wayne's World. Yeah, but anyway, GMA is now Gay Morning America.
Oh. And I have to say that I got a little verklempt at the beginning of the segment when Anthony Anderson, Sheryl Crow, and Andrew Garfield were among the people to wish us happy Pride.
Oh,
that's true.
I'm going to crochet him a scarf.
You should crochet him a scarf. We got to give a big shout out to Compass up in Lake Worth and everything that they do. I am actually hosting their Stonewall Gala at the end of this month, June 25th. So I'm really looking forward to that. Julia, Michael, Wayne, all the folks over there at Compass and Lake Worth, everything that you do, my goodness, we could spend forever saying thank you. And Good Morning America did a fantastic job. Velvet Lenore, we love you, girl. All right, LGBTQ plus flash news. Rainbow Capitalism? Is Walmart really selling Twink-flavored ice cream? With nuts and fudge, of course. The answer is, of course, no. But that didn't stop RuPaul's Drag Race star Brooklyn Heights from making fun of Walmart's greed. The big box retailer was recently criticized for releasing a Juneteenth flavor ice cream in an attempt to capitalize off of the important Black holiday. At the same time, they released a Pride ice cream flavor. Heights tweeted an image of the ice cream that had been cleverly doctored to make fun of the store's attempts to cash in on Pride. In place of the actual flavor, which was white chocolate ice cream with brownies and cherries, yum, the drag superstar had changed the flavor to Twink-flavored, fudge-packed ice cream with corn and peanut bits. Corn? Really? Yeah, no. I'm not even gonna touch it.
I don't know, this was a home run for me. I love what Brooklyn is doing. Shout out to her, shout out to her team, and shout out to my boyfriend who's gonna be on her new show, Chris Craig, who's gonna be on her new show, 5 Queers and a Drag Queen.
You know, anybody who criticized, because we just touched on this a moment ago, corporate pride or whatever, let's remember, this basically would go against Walmart's base any time of year. So the fact that they released a Pride ice cream is fun, and the bit that the spoof was so good and so funny that I guess someone, David, one of our producers, told us that legitimate news sites actually pick it up as being real.
They
and we're like,
believed it.
look at what Walmart's
Look at what Walmart's doing. Nobody likes corn in their ice cream.
Corn? When did I have corn?
Ew. Ew.
I'm going to crochet her a scarf.
Come on. Wouldn't Twink ice cream be yummy? I think it would have like little pieces of Twinkie in it, and it would be delicious with full of cream.
I think a big, beefy muscle bear ice cream flavor would be better.
And what would be in that?
Me.
Usually the ice cream is bigger on a Twink. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Peter?
I just said I'm going to crochet her a scarf.
Okay, while you're doing that, can you read?
Oh.
Can you crochet me?
I was actually thinking of Wayne's Day. I got it. I just got it. LGBTQ plus flash news. Mattel's new transgender Barbie is made in Muslim country where gay marriage is a crime. Here's the story. Queer News Tonight recently reported on Mattel's new Barbie doll that pays tribute to transgender icon Laverne Cox. Ironically, the doll is made in a place where Miss Cox would be likely to face disapproval in public life, and where same-sex marriage is illegal. All Barbie dolls are made in China, Indonesia, and Malaysia, all areas without LGBTQ plus protections. The Laverne Cox doll specifically is produced in Indonesia, where a large conservative Muslim population has led to the adoption of Sharia law in some areas. I don't know what to say.
Are you gonna crochet the whole entire
I'm not gonna
country
crochet them.
scarf?
I'm not going to crochet them a scarf. Well, I mean, this isn't really news because isn't Ken doll?
Okay, so move on, Peter.
Ken doll has been a
Christmas.
transgender. He's been a transgender for decades, right? He doesn't have a wee like he does. He's got just that bump.
That does not make him transgender.
What?
All right, we'll move on. So, this is ironic. I was going to sing the Alanis Morissette song, but you messed up my whole setup, Peter. So I'm just going to move on and say, John.
No, I'm going to move on too. I mean, this happens with many other organizations. I mean, it's not going to stop. Anything that you're doing, for a good price range is where you're going to do it. And we've known this for a long time. I have nothing else to say except trash.
I would guess that Indonesia did not know this was even being made. I mean, Mattel has a factory, and they pump out. They probably pump out the same doll and then slap a wig and appropriate clothing in a different department and send it on. So, buy the doll. It's $40. It celebrates an icon and a trailblazer.
Exactly what John said. LGBTQ plus flash news. Lil Nas X and M&M's tease Pride Month rainbow collaboration. Lil Nas X may have been snubbed by the BET Awards, but he's making sure Pride is sweeter than ever. The official Twitter account for M&M's Candy announced a special collaboration in a tweet yesterday. The announcement was an image of the Call Me By Your Name star standing in front of a background of the candies in a rainbow pattern with the caption, quote, M&M's and Lil Nas X coming soon, end quote. Twitter has gone with wild speculation on what the collaboration could entail. Queer News Tonight will be sure to follow this double tasty Pride announcement. And I'm pretty sure that somewhere in Michigan, M&M is at work putting together a bag of all white M&Ms.
I wonder if Elon Musk would agree with this.
This room is
Jonathan can't take it anymore. What were you going to say, Peter?
Elon Musk would not agree to this.
No, he wouldn't. All right. Well, I think that Lil Nas X is just so popular and so incredible that he can really, honestly, just promote a tampon, a rainbow tampon, and it would be sold out tomorrow.
But the tampon would just be red.
It would be red. And I think he is, even though he feels very saturated, he is like the pinnacle of the LGBTQ community right now, doing the most, and I love it, and I'm here for it, and I'm here for M&Ms as well.
I love M&Ms, especially the green ones. I'm going to be having a handful before I go out tonight. Oh, yeah. If you get it, you get it. And trust me, I'm getting it good.
Is there peanut in it?
Oh, not yet.
There's corn.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates. Share the news with your friends, family, and eat a handful of green M&Ms.
Yeah.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserves the attention of your family and your friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
And if our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ+ stories in motion and sound. That is a passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. So I just wanted to, before we end the show, I wanted to say that today was the first time that a two-spirited model was in Vogue magazine, and it got me thinking of my really good friend Houston Cypress, who is a two-spirited, incredible individual, and that is why I wore these earrings. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him and all that they do. So I am your anchor, FayWhat, and on behalf of these LGBTQ+ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Jonathan Casanas, John Hayden, Peter Bisuito, and Gregg Shapiro. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Sean and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure